It wasn't just the worst day in Donald Trump's term thus far. It may have been the worst day in the history of any person to hold the office of the presidency. Donald Trump betraying Europe, betraying Ukraine, siding with Vladimir Putin at this conference in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where the American delegation met with the Russian delegation and showed the world that America wanted to ally with Russia against Europe and Ukraine. It was dastardly. It was despicable. It was Trumpy. It was gross. And then Donald Trump gave an interview on Fox that was pre-recorded with Elon Musk, where Donald Trump said, inflation's back, baby. He's bringing inflation back. Here, play this clip.
Yeah. And inflation is back. I'm only here for 2.5 weeks.
That was January.
Inflation is back. No, think of it. Inflation's back. And they said, oh, Trump inflation. I had nothing to do with it. These people have run the country. They spent money like nobody's ever spent. They were.
But didn't Donald Trump always say that on day one he was going to lower prices? Prices were getting lower under former President Biden. Now Donald Trump's bringing them back up. And by the way, if you want to know how inflation started to begin with, it started with the $8 trillion of debt that Donald Trump caused during his first term. And now as he wants to give $4.5 trillion in tax cuts to billionaires, get ready for $25 trillion in debt, right? The fiscal hawks, the fiscal conservatives, total BS. And by the way, what happened to no tax on tips? What happened to no tax on Social Security and no tax on overtime? Oh, wait, you were conned again with that by Donald Trump? Well, he is going to cut $880 billion of your Medicaid and $250 billion from farmers and $350 billion in education-related costs, but the billionaires are going to do fine. Like Elon Musk, who was sitting there next to Donald Trump last night on that disgusting interview with Fox. Do you remember, though, by the way, when all of right-wing media and corporate media was like, oh my gosh, Vice President Kamala Harris is doing an interview on CNN with her running mate, Governor Walz, which is perfectly normal and happens on all presidential campaigns when you first announce your ticket. But Donald Trump, this cognitively addled mental mush of a human, sitting next to Elon Musk, who was like talking about like installing computer chips in people's brains, while Donald Trump was sitting there and he was like, yeah, like, okay, what do you think about Bobby, Elon? You like Elon? You think I'm joking? Let me show you what went down on the interview. Here, play this clip.
Then the next step would be to add a second Neuralink implant past the point where the neurons are damaged, so that somebody can walk again, and so they can have full body functionality restored. And
you like Bobby, right?
I like Bobby, actually. Yeah, I think I supported Bobby Kennedy. I think he's unfairly maligned as someone who is anti-science, but I think he isn't. He just wants to question the science, which is the essence of the science. The scientific method fundamentally is about always questioning the science.
So now one of the whole things that the White House is pretending, get this, and I've talked about this before, but that Elon Musk isn't actually the administrator of Doge. Voila, he's not. He's actually, they say, a special advisor to Donald Trump. And he doesn't oversee Doge at all, despite them saying that's what he does and despite Elon Musk saying that. So they're going with that. Why? Because they want to try to give him, did you guess it? Executive privilege, Presidential Records Act protection, presidential immunity, and all of the privileges so he can just go on his social media platform X, lie about things, tens of millions of deceased people on Social Security. But then it's like, okay, well, go speak in front of Congress about that, Elon. Executive privilege. I can't give you my FOIA documents, Freedom of Information Act requests, because they're all privileged. Presidential Records Act. That's the crap that these con artists are pulling over we the people. And what corporate media, what Fox, what the Trump administration, what their line is, what their talking points are, you've heard it, right? I've showed it on other video clips, is billionaires have so much money. Why would you not trust them to have access to your medical files and your tax records and your Social Security information and all your private data? They're so rich that they're not going to do anything bad. Rich people don't do anything bad. That's what they are going with. Well, let me show you. This is Caroline Levitt on Fox saying Elon Musk actually doesn't oversee Doge. And just watch how she says it here. Play this clip.
Andrew here, by the way, and thanks for coming back on with us. It seems there's being a lot made of what Elon Musk's role is actually at Doge. The president has introduced him as the head of Doge multiple times in interviews. Yet there's this affidavit that we've been able to get our hands on here that the press has as well. That it contradicts the White House claim that he's the head of Doge. This affidavit actually says he doesn't work for Doge at all. Reading directly from it, it says Musk is not an employee of the U.S. Doge Service or the U.S. Doge Service Temporary Organization. That's according to the director of the White House's Office of Administration. So what is his role at Doge?
Sure, I'm happy to clarify. Elon Musk is a special government employee here at the White House, serving at the direction of the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Elon Musk has been tasked with overseeing Doge on behalf of the President. And Doge employees, Doge folks have been onboarding at respective agencies across our federal bureaucracy as political appointees, just like any other political appointee gets on board with the new administration with the changing of hands, and those individuals are helping the secretaries at all of our agencies that have been nominated and confirmed by President Trump in the United States Senate to cut waste, fraud, and abuse at these respective agencies. So that's the way Doge has been set up, and that's the way it will continue to operate.
Here's the thing, folks. They think we are stupid. They're treating us like we're stupid. They think they can just spoon feed us crap like they can with some of their MAGAs, and that they could just shove this crap down our throats. I say no, and I'm excited to see the protests getting bigger. Have you been seeing some of these protests going up across the country? These 50-51 protests, 50 states, 50 places all at the same time. Have you been seeing that? Those are going to keep on growing, and we're going to keep covering them here on the MeidasTouch network. And like, you know, Donald Trump, by the way, in this interview with Elon Musk, you know, like Sean Hannity's trying to come up with a role for like Elon Musk. So Donald, he's like your tech support, right? And then Elon Musk's like, yeah, look, my shirt says tech support. Here, play this clip.
What he does is he takes it, and with his 100 geniuses, he's got some very brilliant young people working for him that dress much worse than him, actually.
Yeah,
they dress in just T-shirts. You wouldn't know they have 180 IQ.
Wait a minute. So what he's your tech support.
No, he is.
I actually
but
literally
he's
am
much
tech
more
support.
than that. Yeah.
I literally am tech support, though. But
He gets it done. He's a leader.
Yeah.
He really is. He gets it done. You get a lot of tech people, and you have people that are good with tech, but he gets it done. You know, I said in real estate, you had guys that would draw beautiful renderings of a building, and they'd draw the rendering. It would be great. And you say, great, when are you starting? But they were never able to get it built. They couldn't get the financing. They couldn't get the approvals. It would never get done. And then you have other guys that are able to get it done. You know, they could just get it done. I was in real estate. Same thing in this. He gets it done.
It's just so utterly obnoxious. It's obnoxious. I mean, you know, it's just obnoxious isn't a strong enough word for what we're observing here. Crooked as hell. Then Donald Trump posts this photo, attacking Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada. And it says, Trump tariffs has exposed Trudeau's Canada as failing. He continues to attack Canada over and over again. By the way, shout out to our Canadian supporters, by the way, as the Canadians are boycotting American tourism, boycotting American products. Go around and ask travel agents the amount of damage that boycott is already causing to the United States, because United States and under Donald Trump has severed the relationship with Canada the same way America has given the middle finger to Europe, and America's trying to ally with Russia. It's weird. It's traitorous. It's despicable. And shame on all these spineless Republicans who go out there pretending they're with Ukraine as all of this is going down. By the way, didn't Donald Trump and the administration say, oh, we're just going to focus on the criminals first when it comes to the migrants? Well, it turns out what they're doing is they're sending non-criminals. They're just sending migrants who've been here for a long time, and Trump sending his own supporters, people who are on temporary protected status, whose family members are Trump voters, Venezuelan community, Colombians, Cubans, and Trump's putting them in concentration camps on Guantanamo Bay, people with no criminal records. I don't think there's any proof at all that really anybody at Guantanamo was part of a gang. They lie about everything. And why are you sending people to concentration camps? Play this clip.
Immigration, sir, you said you would be sending the worst of the worst to Guantanamo Bay. What we're finding out is that there are a lot of low-risk migrants who don't have a criminal background who are also being sent. Are you thinking about this differently now?
No, they're going to be brought back to their countries. And with some persuasion, every one of those countries, everyone in the, as you know, every country is taking the people back. So some of them are going to be brought back to, many of them, any of them that are low risk, as you say, are going to be brought back to their countries. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Also, the United States is now spent, get this, $200 million to make videos of Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary, cosplaying in her little outfits that she likes to dress up as, like the cowboy, the sheriff, the ICE agent. She plays like Barbie dress up. It's so freaking weird. It's bizarre. And so $200 million, and it's videos of her. I'm not even going to play it because it's just gross. But she's like, go home, migrants. Go home, she says. She goes, go home in English. And they spent $200 million. They spent $200 million on that. Oh, and then they also have been posting these just cruel videos from the White House official social media account of showing how they're deporting people and shackling people. It looks like Nazi Germany of what they're doing, putting people in these shackles. And by the way, when you looked at the data, President Biden, former President Biden, deported more people than Trump. But criminals is who former President Biden deported. Donald Trump, innocent people. By the way, he's taking Venezuelans, who, by the way, were his supporters, and sending them back to Venezuela to get killed or tortured by Maduro. And one of the things they want to try to do as well is they want to try to normalize plane crashes. That's part of their talking points. So they have Sean Duffy, their Secretary of Transportation, who got famous under the Real World and the Real World Road Rules Challenge reality TV shows in the 90s. And he's like, that's what happens. Air crashes happen, but more happened under Biden. Biden. Here, play this clip.
But again, air crashes happen, but there were more under Biden than Donald Trump. But the point here is we want to get to a place where we have zero crashes. We don't want people to die in aircraft, which is why what I've done is focus on how do you upgrade the system. But Will, you look at what's happened, the airspace around DCA, that was allowed to stay open under the last administration. The inspections that were done of the aircraft that have crashed, that was done under the last administration. So it is rich that they would come at this administration for the mistakes that they've made and blame us for the crashes. We're going to fix what they refused to fix over the course of their 4 years. And that's the mission of this department.
First off, that's false. Number one. Number two, Biden was in office for 4 years. There was no commercial jet crash in the United States when former President Biden was in charge. There's been 4 lethal crashes. There's been more crashes already than Biden. Biden's 4 years, and they're trying to normalize it. You see what they're trying to do? They're trying to act like, oh, this is just something that happens right here. Again, more things I just want to point out to, in addition to just Trump selling out America by sending Marco Rubio to meet with Sergei Lavrov, and Russia's spiking the football, that this was this propaganda was so good for Russia. America kissing the ring of Russia and Saudi Arabia. What the hell is even going on there? And spineless Republicans are acting like that didn't happen. So Elon Musk lied about the millions of deceased people on Social Security. He didn't know how to read the coding language. They then Doge and Trump and them, whatever they even are, accidentally fired the people working to stop the bird flu, then desperately tried to rehire them. Just as it may sound like deja vu, because they did that with the people who were overseeing our nuclear weapons, fired them all, and then had to find them and rehire them. But then they're firing everybody in the FAA and all these other government agencies and veteran services and And even though they were blocked from stopping the government funding, they're still not doing the government funding the way they're supposed to do. But folks, what's Donald Trump saying to his supporters? He keeps sending them emails like this. You're invited to Mar-a-Lago. I will cover the entire cost. That's how much I want to see you at the Winter White House. You just got to chip in before midnight and then you may win. You may win. So utterly pathetic. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.